The brain connects itself to the Hrudaya Akasha through Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama and Vaikari. So the brain connects itself to the Hrudaya Akasha through these four modes of speech. So all these things connect itself to the spirit and to the Hrudaya Akasha. Illi Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama and this thing connects itself to the Hrudaya Akasha, where the whole of the spiritual world, including all gurus, saints and sages are there in that. Alva? On the Hrudaya Akasha, where all the spiritual masters, all the enlightened spiritual masters are housed right from the past to the present, and also those coming in the future. Remember, those coming in the future, you are also a part of it. Remember, you are going to be enlightened. So you are going to be enlightened. So all the past and the present and also among the future, where you will also be one of it. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಮ್ಮ? All of you. ನೋಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಸ್ಟಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಶಿಷ್ಯಸ್ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಧರ್ಮ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ವಿ ಆಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಟು ಹೃದಯ ಆಕಾಶ, ವೇರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಎನ್ಲೈಟನ್ಡ್ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹೌಸ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್. ಹೌಸ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್, ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೋಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ, ಸರಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ನಾವು ಓದಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಾವು ಬರೀ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಯಾವುದೋ ನಾವು ಆ ಗುರುಜಿ, ಈ ಗುರುಜಿ, ಆ ಬಾಬಾಜಿ, ಈ ಬಾಬಾಜಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹೃದಯ. ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು? ಇವನ್ ದೋ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲಿ ಅಲೈವ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹೃದಯ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಚಿಪ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಚಿಪ್? That chip is nothing but continuous flow of divine energy. Hrudaya Akasha means a chip. It's a memory drive. Alva? It's a drive. Alva? Future ಬರೋದೇನು? ಮೆಮರಿ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಅದು. ನೀವು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೃದಯ ಆಕಾಶ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಅ ಚಿಪ್ಪ ಮೆಮರಿ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮೆಮರಿ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಇದು. ವೆನ್ ಯು ಡೂ ಸಾಧನಾ, ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ವೆನ್ ಯು ಡೂ ಸಾಧನಾ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಲಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಯುವರ್ ಹೃದಯ ಆಕಾಶ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಚಿಪ್. ಇಷ್ಟೇ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೈಜ್, half an inch by half an inch. It is nothing but composed of consolidated, how do you call that chip? It doesn't require space. It requires nothing but a bundle of energy. Hrudaya Akasha in everybody is only a bundle of energy. This is what the legacy, what our forefathers have left, and also the legacy what we have is not asti pasti. It is this divine vibrations which is there in our chip, Hrudaya Akasha. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ. ಹೃದಯ ಆಕಾಶ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಅ ಚಿಪ್, ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಚಿಪ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಅ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಪಾತ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪರಾ ಪಶ್ಯಂತಿ ಮಧ್ಯಮ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಹೃದಯ ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಾ ಪಶ್ಯಂತಿ ಮಧ್ಯಮ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೈಕಾರಿ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ಸ್. ಹೃದಯ ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆ. ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಂಟಿಲ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕಲಿ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಟು ಥಿಂಕ್. ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್, ವಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್. ಹೃದಯ ಆಕಾಶ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಅ microchip. Includes microchip also has genealogy, our genes, as well as Parapashyanti Madhyama. We have already spoken about it. Okay. Hrudaya Akasha is the microchip embedded in us, which includes our genealogy, samskaras and vasanas. Samskaras as well as vasanas, impressions and tendencies.
Om Jai Mata, Om Jai Gurudeva.
Very good.
Within our spiritual heart,
yes,
within our Hrudaya Akasha,
correct,
is present our spirit,
correct,
the spirit soul, which is made up of the Panchakoshas,
and is also called as Atman,
which is also it is also there mentioned that Atman is in the center and it is covered by the 5 sheaths. The
Correct.
5 sheaths of Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha.
Correct.
It has also been segregated as the Annamaya Kosha, and the part of Pranamaya Kosha has been termed as the Sthula Sharira.
Correct.
Part of the Pranamaya Kosha as well as the Manomaya Kosha,
correct,
along with a part of the Vijnanamaya Kosha has been termed as the Sukshma Sharira,
correct,
and the Anandamaya Kosha has been termed as the Karana Sharira or the causal body. Now all these 3 states or stages of our evolvement, that is the 3 sheaths, 5 sheaths and the 5 sheaths and the 3 bodies. These are all embedded in that Angushta Matra Purusha, which has been explained in the Guru Gita. Angushta Matra Purusham Dhyayete Chinmayam Hrudi. So in that Chinmayam Hridi, in the Hrudaya Akasha, is in that energy field of that Guruji had explained in the Guru Gita discourses, that it is as big as just that one thumb, where the entire energy of the soul resides.
Yeah.
The 5 koshas or the 3 bodies,
yes,
shariras, the 3 shariras, that is Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira and the Karana Sharira.
correct,
The Sthula Sharira is made up of, is just the blueprint of what is the Karana Sharira and the Sukshma Sharira.
Correct.
It is reflected as a physical body. But what is actually the main substance lies in the very primitive form, in the seed form as vasanas and samskaras in our Karana Sharira. All those impressions and the tendencies and the attitudes, all that which we have carried from our previous births, as well as what is written here as the genealogy, that is what we have inherited in this birth, all that has been recorded in that causal body, that is why it is called as the cause. Because of that cause there is an effect, and that effect is what is we see as our physical body. Just as the cause for a clay pot is the clay, and what becomes the pot, that pot is the effect. So it is called as the causal body, or the Karana Sharira has been called as the cause and the effect. The Sukshma Sharira is made up of the mind, the prana and the intellect. So all this is there as the part of our innermost being, and that is what is reflected within us as our internal world and is reflected outside, manifested as an effect, because what is there as the cause within us becomes the effect in the external world.
Correct.
So that effect is what we see as people, as
Right.
relationships,
Correct.
as the material objects, the
Correct.
material wealth,
Correct.
the situations, the sukha, the dukkha, the pains and joys and the sorrows, everything that we are
the
experiencing.
manifestations of the world's energy indirectly proportional to us in sukha and dukkha. And those impressions are called as tendencies or vasanas. Correct. Continue. Hedi, correct.
So all this which is residing within us forms a very important part of our being. So that is why the sadhana that has been prescribed, whether it is mantra sadhana or japa or the pranayama, everything is aimed only at the purification of our internal state. That purification happens only through that huge iceberg of the subconscious that is lying within us. What we are now experiencing in our conscious state is only at the tip of the iceberg.
Correct.
But the rest of the entire the huge mountain is lying below. And that is what we are totally unaware of.
We are ignorant of.
We are ignorant of. So that sadhana, the more the meditation that we do, the more this mantra sadhana that we do, the more the japa that we do, is all a method of clearing all the negative tendencies, the negative vasanas. It's not that the subconscious is only negative.
Correct.
There are so many things which are beneficial in the subconscious. We have to only recognize the negative traits which are surfacing again and again within us and remove those negative traits. That is the clearing of the subconscious which happens only through continuous and consistent sadhana. The sadhana that has been given by an enlightened master. Only such a sadhana will work wonders, because that carries the Shakti of the enlightened being, the power of speech, the power of his own energy. So that is what removes all the negative tendencies, all the unwanted, the unnecessary tendencies and attitudes and our mindsets. There are so many things which are inside us which are of no use. So all that is forming the part of our innermost being. So the very purpose of doing our sadhana is for internal purity. When that internal purity happens, when we are aligning ourselves with the spirit within us, with the teachings and the principles of all the spiritual truths, that is when that change and transformation that happens within. When that transformation happens within us, we become better human beings, we become more loving, more compassionate, and we develop that the values and the principles of truth. That is what is Sat, Chit and Ananda. We become very conscious, that is the Chit part of us. There is a gradual increase in the levels of awareness of what we have to do, what we want to be, and what we are in, with what direction are we going towards. So that is the increasing and level of our awareness of our own consciousness, and we are following the path of dharma. The Shishya's Kartavya is to be in dharma, to be in truth, not only kaya, vacha, manasa, to be in the complete, in tune with all the vibrations of our Atma. That is nothing but Satya, the eternal truth. So that which makes us go in the direction of the truth, of awareness, of consciousness, which finally leads us to the state of bliss or ananda. So these are the stages of how a sadhak proceeds in his journey, in his spiritual journey. So that Hrudaya Akasha is a very sacred spot, a very sacred center. As it has been mentioned in Guru Gita also, Hrudaya Akasha madhyastham shuddha spatika sannibham. That area is glowing like a crystal, and it is completely clean and transparent. Yes. So that is that transparency that we need to be in our day-to-day living.
Correct.
We should say what we mean and mean what we say. As we say and as we mean, so our thoughts will be. So when we are very pure inside, we will have pure thoughts. That pure thoughts will lead to pure emotions of love and oneness with everybody. And those feelings of oneness and love, unconditional love, will lead automatically to the right action. So all these three are aligning ourselves to the innermost core of our very being. So that is the fundamental understanding, and like Guruji explained, we have to understand the principles, the knowledge of that principles. So the more we are in sync with the teachings of the Guru, the teachings and the principles, the more we follow, the greater is the purity, and greater is the alignment of our internal being along with the external relationships, external the vyavahara or the transactions that we are doing in the external world. So there is complete harmony within us and outside of us. When there is complete harmony within and without, then automatically we are getting that grace of the universal consciousness.
Correct.
So then that is that grace which is coming directly from the Guru or the universal consciousness or God, whatever we call it. They're all the same, because all these higher energies are all working in the same frequencies. So when we are in that dimension of internal and external purity, we are getting the grace of God and Guru, and that in turn makes us more evolved. That takes us to a higher level of consciousness, So that is the constant and a consistent progress or evolution that is happening within us from moment to moment.
Yes.
Om Jai Mata, Om Jai Gurudeva.
Yes.
For more satsangs from Shri Nimishananda Guruji, subscribe to this channel. Click the bell button below to get notifications. Like and share the video and spread the divine message.